that was the focus. I think it was the consistency, right? And then really our ability to just kind of break down those holes and start kind of filling in those holes, right? Because I have, to be honest, for the past 9 years, never really watched myself roll, watch myself do certain things. I just go into the gym and I just did it, right? And having really that outsider point of view, evaluate my game and say, yeah, we got to take maybe a look here, got some holes here to fill in. We got some other areas that we need to kind of focus on. That was, I think, tremendously helpful. Number one, I think the skill set that you brought to the table in terms of our body type, and you already have kind of gone through the trials of, hey, what worked, what doesn't work, you know? You're not going to show me a Darce on like a guy with like, big giant shoulders, or we're going to work on triangles, right? Or you're probably going to work on things that are going to be high percentage. We're going to take the back, right? We're going to pass guard. We're going to take the back. We're going to wait for things like, wait for them to the belly down, take the back, sink in our chokes, work on our control, work on maintaining the back, right? So I think that strategy was definitely helpful. I think that worked. Yeah. So instead of, like in I think across all gyms, right? Your instructor, he gives the whole breadth of, all right, here's what the technique is, right? And he breaks it down. Usually it's like, all right, the majority it will work for everyone, right? And things that he or she feels that it's going to be high percentage for his organization and his students, not kind of narrow view that I think I would prefer, because I can't do a triangle on a big guy, right? Or it would be lower percentage for me to do something like that, right? And I think also is it's challenging sometimes to work through those things with kind of my home coach, because he doesn't have my body type and doesn't have the same experience as me. And for me, at this point in my game, the limited time, the limited resources that I have in terms of knowledge, access to knowledge, I really value that kind of just that focus on, all right, this is what works for our body type, this is what works for us, these are the techniques that are high percentage. All right, let's focus on that versus kind of like the whole gambit of jiu-jitsu. Because you agree, right? It's just so huge. It's hard to learn all the nuances of everything, right? Yeah, I mean, if I had an infinite amount of time, I would love to explore other avenues of jiu-jitsu. I wanna be able to kind of feel like I'm good at something. I want to be good at something. I want to do something that I'm good at and continue to get good at. I think. And it's doing those quick wins that really helps my confidence, on the mat with other people, and not, and then not completely feel like I'm not progressing and plateauing, right? Right. I want to learn how to fish, and it's that teaching the fish mindset, right? And that's what I think out of the last 6 months, the biggest takeaway that I got is evaluating myself, evaluating the footage, and making those connections. And with your help on adding that strategy to say, all right, look at this, look at your hand placement, look at your hip placement, look at certain things. Oh, I didn't even see that. So helping me evaluate myself. And I think that was the biggest takeaway. And I want to kind of extend that more to say, all right, I want to be able to evaluate myself a little bit more. And again, teaching me how to fish. And in doing that, I think that's what I kind of gravitated to for the last couple of months. In a sense, like, I'm gonna come to the table here. Here's what I did, coach. What do you think? Right? Here's what worked and didn't work. What do you think? And then you being able to kind of overlay your experience on that and say, yep, no, yeah, maybe try this versus what you were thinking.
Yeah. There are times where I'm like, okay, Steve, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Or what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Right. So then what could you do with your left hand right there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What could you do when the guy goes to your leg? So I want to make, again, I hope that's in line with what you just expressed.
Yeah. And that, I think that works for me. At times when we're doing it, it might seem like it's clunky and then I'm like, I'm fumbling, but that's part of the learning process of being able to recognize it, right? So, oh yeah, you're right. I didn't do that, right? Or no, that position, that's not the name of that position. You're completely off base. but I think you should just recognize that is the learning process for me. Like, yeah, okay, I don't know,
Okay.
or no, you're right, right. And for me, that's making those connections too. And then because then the next time I'm gonna be more aware. Oh, yep, we talked about that. Yep, I remember that. Right. So learning always kind of good. And don't worry about being clunky with me. I think it's that's how I learn, and that's how I grow. I just like to experiment, and like I just like to just experiment with a lot of things, and it's not always like kind of the straight and narrow with me sometimes, right?
Just for being at your level and having the humility to seek that knowledge. And I got similar feedback when right after I got my black belt, I hit up Shane Agena. He's a small association black belt, and I said, hey man, can we do a private lesson? He was almost like dumbfounded. He was like, oh my god, like dude, I just want to give you props for like even wanting to like reaching out to me, you know. And so I love that about you. And I always tell my students, it's a common misconception that the higher up you go, the less coaching you need. It's the higher up you go, the more coaching you need, because less people can relate to you and less people can help you. The problems are so much more specific at that point, right? So just want to say kudos to you on that, because I think there's a lot of guys, even blue belts at this point, are like, I'm good, I got it, you know. Like, okay, cool, you know. Awesome for you, you know. I at that point I just say, you know, reach out if you have any questions. But I think you just being willing and open to explore and continue to work and grow is a testament to your character and what you got going on. So
thanks guys, appreciate it.
My pleasure.